Hi everyone, we're here back with the Spiritist Talk in our Saturdays via Paul Stephen Spirit Center. My name is Tarso dos Santos and I'm here this afternoon with you all. And we'll be waiting for our friends to join. Today the topic is You Can Do It. So we have a couple of minutes to start and we'll be waiting for people to join. It doesn't matter if you can't join for the session now, but this video is going to be loaded so you can watch later. So again, we're going to have a couple of minutes waiting for, so we start at 6:15. Great topic. You can do it. So motivational, and hopefully we can bring a lot of inspiration here for myself, for you, with this topic today. So we have another minute with our topic before we can start. Welcome. Those are arriving. I can't see your name, but very welcome for those that can join us right now. And we'll be starting in a minute. For those that have joined or are joining, if you want to make any comments, please feel free. Hopefully we can, if you have time, if you are in a situation where you can make some comments, feel free to make some comments. And it's always great to be in a just one way conversation, but both ways conversation. So it's 6:15, so we're going to be starting. The topic today is You Can Do It. So first we're going to ask our protection and we're going to connect to our mentor guides and the Spirit Center. We continue to do that remote, so we're going to connect to our mentor guides there in the Spirit Center there now, and making this tunnel, this connection, this light that is going to connect us, connect you, connect all of us, and bring some motivation, some light in our hearts with this talk. So the topic today is You Can Do It. And the focus here is enlightening us from when we're persisting and working through our responsibilities, challenges in our life, and how divine is all the paths that are put through in front of us in this journey of our life. So just recognizing that in a little way, in a specific point of view, how is divine the journey that we're going through our life, this path that we have in front of you. So all our talks are based on the books of Spiritism. So the Gospel According to Spiritism, this one specifically on chapter 20, item 5, codified by Allan Kardec and by the spirits. So the question part goes is that are you one of those that think that things around us are all about a mere consequence? Do you ask yourself why you where you are now? Have you asked yourself what's your role in your life in the situations that you are now, and what's your mission? This is a question profound. These questions are quite profound, and hopefully we can develop some ideas and bring insight. But first we need to establish that there's a higher force in the universe, and everything, the universe works towards balance. And when we look at chaos, the universe, talk about stars forming, but chaos in our life that looks like chaos, just paths they're going towards and are before balance. And this applies to details of our life. Everything we do, everything around us is subject to this law, this balance that goes towards everything around us. If we take anything out of a place, if we take anything out of balance, it's our responsibility to put back into balance. And that's quite profound, because it's a big responsibility. Sometimes we don't really see that, but it's our responsibility, everything we do. So therefore, if everything goes to balance, all the situations that happen, they're just not mere coincidences. We can define two causes for them. One, as a result of choices that we make now. Therefore, we suffer the consequences right now, right in this life. And success, for example, is a result of the amount of effort that we make, and also the ability to learn from mistakes. So the success that we do in this life will be rewarded, and sometimes even after the other lives, looking at reincarnation and the belief of Spiritism about multiple lives that we have. But also the choices that we made in previous lives that result in courses, in paths that are going to happen now in this life, for example. For example, in the previous life, if I made some wrongdoing, if I made someone to suffer pain, I'll be in debt with that person. Therefore, the universe, the balanced God, I'll bring the word God now, all the laws that are around us, our mentor guides, they'll help me consequently in the next life to be close to that person so I can fix the mistakes that I've done. So we see it as interconnectivity, this connectivity of all of us, and those that surround us today, we have some reason to be here together. Some people attribute these details that we just talked about, karma. We don't use this word as spiritism, but more about the results from our universal laws of action, reaction to everything we do. It reacts back. It has relation with balance. The law of evolution, that we're always evolving, even though we see some very horrible things happen now, wars, and sometimes we just stagnate, but we'll keep evolving. But more importantly, overpowered by the law of love. What does that mean? It doesn't mean that it's all about action and reaction. If I do something wrongdoing, I will suffer wrongdoing. But it puts in our hands the love that we can make it better, make good for someone else, to break the cycles. So how these cycles and these laws affect our lives and a family. These laws bring us together from multiple lives that we have experienced, so we can come again and correct and be good to each other. So that's the main point. So all the time when we're thinking we're meeting someone that maybe we don't have much of a connection, we feel a little bit a bad energy or something, think about that we being there together in another life, that we have all these responsibilities that we don't have conscious right now of what they are, but we have some feelings. But another point is to all this work together so perfectly. There's a force that's required, which is uno, which is unique, that's one, that's this supreme intelligence that construct perfect laws that we just talked about and balances everything. That's God, nature, if you want to call. And how we perceive, because we don't see that thing, don't see God all the times, but we see what He creates. We can compare it to an analogy of a clock. And this was written by Allan Kardec. Amazing comparison. When you see a clock, one of those that older ones that has these big gears and everything put together and works so perfectly, doesn't miss a bit. Do you see intelligence in the clock? No, you don't see the intelligence in the clock itself, but you see the intelligence behind. In other words, that person who built the clockmaker. Now, when we see life around us, we see this perfection, how nature is interconnected, how it works without intervention of us, no need, how we immersed on this, and where do we see the intelligence? It's behind all this. So in a way that we cannot comprehend yet, because it's far beyond the intelligence that we have to understand God fully, but we see Him by His creation. Give an example, amazing. We take all this for granted. Amazing example of the forest. One of the forests in the United States, I forgot the name of the forest now. I think it's close to Mississippi. It's these huge trees, and they survive because of the bear. So there's an ecosystem. Everyone is placed there to make the ecosystems to survive and the forest to survive. A huge tree, meters to the high, 100 meters, I think some of them. And the bear, so he catches the salmon close to the river. He brings the salmon and works for meters into the forest, eats the salmon, but eats only bits of the salmon, and then leaves the salmon, the carcass, and then the carcass, they go and decompose, and then all that fungus that create, it nourishes the land there, and so the trees, they actually grow that size because of the salmon. But that continues on. So the bear has its role in that. And then more amazingly, there's a specific flower from these trees which only one bee can go inside and do the pollination. And then suddenly you got the nuts that comes down, and only this crow that's so hard this nut can break that nut, and then the seed goes into the earth, and then a new tree is born. So we see how amazingly we take all this for granted, and we see how they all interconnected and they have their role. And we are the same in our lives, in our family. We have a role, which sometimes is predefined from other lives, specific for our families, our network, and we have this role, this mission, and to work within this family system. If you are the one with that is more patient, and you're more patient in your family, the ones that you have a more go towards and have more courage to take risks, or be the ones you give more advice, have more wise. So all of us, we have our roles within our network, our family, and we have a mission. Take care of those around us, right? So when we see these people around us, we see the coincidence that sometimes we see our friends that know other friends, and we see what a coincidence. The choice that we make, the travels that we endeavor, the consequence, the things that happen as a result, and you see what a strange coincidence. It seems there's a force that pulls us together, but I tell you, there is no coincidence for anyone that's around us. We are here in a specific place, in a specific time, with these amazing laws around us, with the help of our mentor guides as well. Everyone that you recognize its responsibilities in life, and they're meant to us. We learn with the spirits that this life is just a blip of the universal and the eternal life that we are as spirits. So we have to take advantage of this life and work the best, so that all the work we do in this journey is not in vain. So, and its ability to see what's happening in our life, otherwise we just go and live our lives blind. And it's amazing that ability for us to see the things around us. It's based on these filters that we have around us. these filters that we have basically make us, the understanding of the situations, we see emotions, what gets imprinted in us, what gets recorded in us, and the way we see it, it's with these filters that we see the values, the emotions that we see, that we experience. So we absorb only the lenses of this experience by these factors. And the same goes with our past lives. All these are imprinted in us based on these emotions and values that we experienced. For example, when we pass through a traumatic experience, things that we're going to record may be images, but more expressions of people or emotions that we suffered through this traumatic experience. And this goes to a detail of our lives, professional work, family. What gets imprinted is this experience is bad or good, right? But interesting enough is the ability to see these things, to filter. It comes towards hand in hand with our maturity from our spiritual being, maybe our spiritual intelligence. The new way of categorizing this spiritual intelligence now, it is well known out there. So we have this ability to, if this maturity that we have, so we see a good person, a bad person, if you can categorize people like this. So the good person, you see maturity, the spiritual maturity. Bad person, you see immaturity, because the way it sees things, it's distorted. So we have a bigger role than our ego, and with our missions in terms of working towards something that's bigger than an ego. So we have this power to drive how we see the world, how to absorb things, and this can be in our control. And sometimes we are not happy with our situations, and it goes all every day or once a week, depending on your case. But it's because sometimes we build these expectations, and sometimes we're so focused on the little things and how the things should be, instead of these bigger things, bigger than an ego, that ego that should be our focus is, which focusing more in a total, in a well-being of humanity. When we take our little interests out of the hand, but looking more for a bigger picture, we can bring that motivation much easier than start focusing on just on us. So absolutely, we see rocks in front of us in our issues, and if we lose someone, you lose a job. But when we look at reincarnation, that comes the topic, reincarnation, how this Pisces, all this topic is that reincarnation brings our logic and gives us hope and gives logic, because we believe in the life after all this. We believe in this connectivity that continues on if you lose someone, but also the certainty that the choices you make with the good faith is that it's going to be placing you in the right situation, the right time. So if you look at life as a game of chess, is that we're making the movements, and all this for a bigger picture. It makes for a good for overall for things. So reincarnation is the continuation of this work mission in Earth, and we return to this new body, and gives this ability to encounter all those that we are in debt in the past, or the ones we love. And we gain these new responsibilities. And every time we make a decision, we gain responsibility. So we have to look at and making the right decisions related to that. So, and we have some guidelines with that we're going to talk soon. And for that, so the guidelines are pretty clear. Is that, just briefly, it's about the code of conduct that Jesus left for us, right? So it's that code of conduct that we can just follow, that love your neighbor, how you love yourself, and God. But one thing I want to make sure that we remember is that reincarnation is not a new topic. It's a topic that's been there for us for a long time. And interesting enough, when you search about reincarnation, you even find famous people that talk about, like Thomas Edison, as well Henry bring you forward as well. It's interesting. But one statement in the Gospel according to Spiritism is about, which I found beautiful, reincarnation. Beneath all forms and images, it contains the seed of the future as well as the revelation of that magnificent unity that harmonizes all things in the universe. And that solidarity that reconnects all present beings to the past and the future. So it's amazing that the spirits left that message, but it is that connectivity independent of the time, past, future, that will make us to progress, and this law of evolution that will happen, you guarantee that it's going to proceed. So reincarnation is amazing. It liberates us from this folks' idea that we're just living these material things that we have now, the things that we possess. If we can apply reincarnation, everything we do, but not just, we have to love the material things that we have as well, but love without being a slave of them. And reincarnation liberates us from being slaves, from gadgets, from things, and gives the importance to the thing that really matters. And I think that's what's amazing about reincarnation. So we talk about what the code of conduct for us to, the lenses to conduct our lives. We talk about Jesus. And when we see religions that says God is calling you, Jesus is calling you, it's not about bringing people into the church and make sure they give the money to the church, but it's more about giving that conduct of this code of conduct that makes us to proceed, to become workers of for the well-being of the humanity. And that's what really is about, and that's what Spiritism really focuses on in terms of calling. When you're called by Jesus, it's just called to do and behave the way he taught us to do, which is love your neighbor. It's nothing to do with money, nothing to do with material things. And to look inside you and find that courage to continue that work and mission, because you may be challenged with a new kid that you're going to look after. Be encouraged with that courage, that very difficult things that you have to pass through if it's a disease, that you can do it. And take this and help others and help yourself through that process. And that's your mission. That you can do it, and you have the courage to win and win the things that you're looking for. So it's 6:35. Hopefully, so as concluding our session is with this message that you can do it, and reincarnation is there to support us, to make sure that it liberates us and we can have these lenses of things around us the way we should see them, with the force of love, that we can persevere in our endeavors, in our challenges, with that love in mind. So thank you for being here with me. Thank you for those that are listening to this talk maybe later. And I thank you, my guardian angels, as well as our mentors from the Spirit Center, for always protecting us. And hopefully your house will be illuminated this time, and amazing light could reach you at this point. Thank you very much, and I will leave you now. Thank you.